Welcome, Enchantress B. Nice to have you back. It's been a while since I saw you in the stream. Thank you for joining me today. Doing pretty well. How about you? Every Sunday we have a little meeting, a little hub meeting. We make some music together, sing, set intentions, talk about our experiences. Then we go shopping afterwards, my partner and I. And get a few essentials or whatever needs to be replaced in the house. Oh, and yesterday was brilliant day. We took a hike. Spent the whole day in the river here. So we live right on the edge of the Neisner Nature Reserve. So we just took a hike down into the river. Some amazing waterfalls and rock pools down there. Welcome, Tweety. Nice to have you back. Hope you're doing well. Hope reality is collapsing into place for you. As we know, the quantum reality exists in every location and every timeline simultaneously and only collapses into the present moment once observed. So I hope you are observing the reality you wish to see, because that's how it works. Whatever reality you observe manifests into your present. Enchantress B says, I have exams and I'm going to be an engineer soon. That's freaking cool. So guys, you know how this works. You just ask your question to join the queue. You can type #tarot to build momentum and then put your question in the chat. I do general readings too. If that's what you prefer, then you don't have to say anything. Just #tarot without a question will get you a general reading automatically. Welcome, Ali. To join the queue, you just ask your question followed by #tarot and you're in. So Enchantress B says, Pisces, X current thoughts and reconciliation energies, please. Cool. Cool. So you're the first reading of the day, Enchantress. Ali says, please tell me about my future love, please. #tarot. Amazing, thank you. So you're the second one in the queue. Next up for reading. Ali says, you look so cool, happy to subscribe. Thank you so much. Welcome, Katie Parma. Nice to see you back. Okay, so the Enchantress's ex, what are his thoughts? His or her thoughts? Is there possibility for reconciliation? Okay, so your past interval here is a 9 of discs. So basically this card is saying that he's been watching you. Like, I don't know how long ago you guys broke up, but he or she has been watching you from afar, just observing your feed, observing things you post and whatever. Basically he's observed that you've been reflecting on your like physical reality, in your physical environment, things like health, fitness, and finances that you've been sitting throughout February of this year. I mean January, not February, we only just started with February. January, basically, he saw you observing how your health habits have been and how your exercising habits have been and your spending habits have been, and you've been making shifts and changes to all of that, learning from your mistakes and reapplying your methods for success in regards to all those things that relate to the physical reality. And that's it's been good for your image. It's been inspiring for him to watch you go through that. Maybe even a bit of jealousy and frustration that he's not growing quite as much. Present interval is number 5 of the trumps. So this card is telling me that in the moment you are an example to him. He sees you as like an example to be followed in every aspect of your life, that you are just a good example to follow, a successful example. You apply yourself, your knowledge, your resources, your experiences, everything about all of what you have that could help you succeed. You apply it all to its maximum potential. Never mind your limitations. You also don't reach further than what your resources and knowledge can carry you. You just take small steps, as small as you can. You don't try and leap too quickly into the future, because as we know, then that ends up like a 1 step forward, 2 steps back vibe. So he's watching how you take small steps. Doesn't matter how small they are, you're still moving forward, and he sees that you're an excellent example to be followed. Yeah, awesome card. Future interval, 3 of discs reversed. So what's about to open up for him is that he's going to be feeling a little bit hopeless about his own state of affairs, his own physical health and his own fitness and his own career. All of that stuff, he's going to feel like what he has been wanting to accomplish for himself is bigger than what he can actually reach. 3 is about like becoming aware of what's actually required of you in order to see your dreams realized. It's about hope, having hope, but this card is reversed, so it's talking about hopelessness, overwhelm, feeling like the goal, the outcome is too big, and the kind of changes he's going to have to make to his character and the things that he's going to have to do, what's actually required of him in order to see his physical environment look the way he hopes it will look, is more than what he can accomplish. Now that's not ever true. If you can visualize it, you can manifest it. So that is the actual truth. The only time that hopelessness comes in is if you devalue yourself. If you look at yourself and you say, oh, I'm not good enough for that. I'm not good enough to make those changes. Or finding excuses and reasons not to make the changes, like why it'll be a failure to even try. So that's what's about to open up for him because of your example. He's looking at you and it's making him feel a sense of despair about his own state of affairs. And that is the conclusion of your reading. So the card isn't really saying anything about reconciliation, and I guess that's because it's up to you if you want to reconcile. He's still smitten with you, basically. You're still someone he holds in high regard, someone whose example he follows, or she. And yeah. Enchantress B says, have you seen Bill Skarsgård? I have never seen Bill Skarsgård. But it's amazing that you associate me with Bill Skarsgård, because most people, they immediately like say Michael Jackson or Benedict Cumberbatch or Nick Jonas. These are the oh, and LP. Those are the famous people that I'm usually associated with. So it's great to have a new one on the list. Okay, so next in my queue is Ali. What lies ahead for Ali regarding her love life? And you're most welcome, Enchantress B. I'm glad that we saw you today. I just want to let you know that tomorrow, same time, we're going to be doing spell casting. So if you want if there's anything you desire and want to manifest into your life, join us tomorrow for some free spells. Okay, so Ali, so your past interval card here is number 13 of the trumps, and it's reversed. It's called death. So this talks about dealing with loss. Not necessarily. It could talk about loss. I mean, we're all experiencing loss recently. It seems like a lot of death on the table for everybody. Whether that's dogs, cats, pets, family members, friends, a lot of people have passed on. But this could also just talk about a physical injury, like getting hurt, near-death experience. It's something that you've already been through, something you have just experienced. 2021, the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. It's things that are now coming to a close. The card also just wants to say to you that it might be painful to go through these things, whether it's loss or if it's physical injury. It's painful to endure it, but the kind of changes that happen to your life, the kind of rebirth that comes out of it, you know, new beginnings are always disguised as painful endings. So that new beginning and the changes that come about because of this death energy always are there to bring you closer into alignment with who you are authentically and the life that you desire. Present interval is Ace of Wands reversed. So this card is telling me that in the present moment you are miscommunicating. When you interact with people, like you make new connections, you are keeping information to yourself, hiding your true intentions. So one's all about intentions and desires, and Ace is about communication. So it's telling me that you're communicating not so clearly, you're hiding things, and that's detrimental to any relationship. If you hide aspects of your past relationships, if you hide things about yourself or your true intentions, I mean, you might get what you want, you might get into that relationship, but in hindsight, to build your relationship on miscommunication and deceit, dishonesty is never healthy. Those kind of relationships will experience turbulence and mayhem and disharmony as you go forward. So that card is showing up just to say to you, turn it around. It shouldn't be upside down. Communicate clearly about what you desire from your own life, what you hope to find in a partner, what your intentions are getting into a relationship, and what your intentions are for your life, because all of these things need to resonate with your partner before you guys can be compatible. You need to express completely who you are and what you're doing, and they need to express completely who they are and what they're doing. If you don't do that, you can end up matching yourself with someone who is not meant for you, someone who you're not compatible with. Ideally, you want to find someone authentic. You know, you don't want to have to change who you are or put on a mask in order to get into a relationship. When that mask falls away, then there's strife. Future interval here is the Two of Swords reversed. So this is what's about to open up for you, and this card is saying that in order to find someone who is authentic and compatible with you, you should be working on your own purpose. There is potential that's about to open up for you, potential for you to evolve in your own purpose and receive value, manifest value in your spiritual reality, in your spiritual self, and intuitive growth. All that kind of value, the inner value. So if you focus on that and you focus on developing yourself and finding peace within yourself, then you will encounter other people who are doing the same, and from among those people, one of them will stand out and you'll get closer to them, and a romantic relationship will evolve naturally. You won't have to actually look for it. So the card is also reversed, and that's a little warning saying to you that there will, while you're doing that, while you're working on yourself, a lot of relationship potential is going to come up, and then this Ace of Wands reverse can get in the way of that. It can distract you from your own development process, and if you stop because suddenly you're connecting with people who are also self-developing and growing and finding peace in themselves, now you're connecting with new people and the idea of a relationship excites you, and then you go back to being inauthentic, it'll sabotage that whole process. You will end up, so you'll be moving steadily. You and the correct person, the person who's compatible with you, will be drawing each other slowly closer together as long as you're working on yourself. If at any moment you stop doing that and you start seeking a relationship, then you're going to drift away from that person again. And that is the conclusion of your reading. So thank you for joining me. Yeah, really appreciate that subscription. Please like this video as well, and have a good Sunday. And then I want to say welcome to Kavita Naidu, who says, hi, I hope you're well. I would like to know if I will find another job anytime soon. I lost my job, please. Okay, awesome. So yeah, you're up next, Kavita. You're up next. It's good to have you back, and I am doing pretty well. I hope the same applies to you. Ali says thank you, and you're most welcome, Ali. Thank you for joining me today. Much appreciated. How can Kavita succeed at securing herself financially? Okay, so your past interval here is the 8 of Wands. 8 is about shifts, changes, adjustments. Wands is about desires and intentions and passions. So this card is saying to me that because of this year and month of being unemployed, so the last time you were employed was January last year, this card is saying that towards the end of the year, you had to really start taking a look at your desire. So what kind of job you're looking to manifest, how much you're hoping to earn. You had to take a serious look at that aspect of your desires and your intentions when you apply for jobs, what your intention is behind it, how you've been communicating it, and also looking at what you're actually passionate about, because ideally you want to be in a line of work with something that you're passionate about. So you had to take a look at that and then make some shifts and changes to the way you carry yourself and the way you present yourself, in order to be more aligned with who you are authentically and the job that you're actually trying to manifest, the desire, the end goal. This was a conclusion that you came to of your own accord, which is great. When the card is reversed, it's something that's forced on you. So I love to see that you came to that conclusion of your own accord. This kind of energy that it talks about is identifying who you have to become in order to see what you desire become a reality for you. So that is something that's coming to a close now. In the present, we have a 6 of Wands for you. So this talks about connection, making new connections. Since this year began, you have been applying all of your resources. So this is again to do with your desires and your intentions, and that is naturally employment, finances. So you're applying all of your knowledge, all of your experience in order to manifest that desire, applying it to its maximum potential. And then now you're making connections. You're interacting with new people and with people from your past and existing relationships. You're interacting with them and communicating, and basically as they're communicating with you, they're learning from you, and they're getting access to new knowledge and new experiences and new resources that can help them do better with manifesting their desires. And at the same time, they're doing that for you. You're learning from their example. You're learning from the people that you're interacting with, learning about what you could be doing that'll bring you closer to what you desire, basically evolving past your limits, in other words. So both of these cards so far are saying to me that what you had been doing to try and find work wasn't working for you, so you had to make some adjustments to that. You had to make some shifts, and so that probably looks like side hustling, starting little projects that can bring in an income just so you can stay alive and secure yourself. And in the present, you are getting better at that. New ideas are coming up. Yeah, you're just evolving past the limitations, finding new ways to make that succeed. And honestly, if you've been out of work for so long, the universe is kind of saying to you, stop looking for a job and start finding other ways to secure yourself. You know, you could grow a garden on your windowsill and grow food there. At the same time, you could be selling art. That's an example. You could be applying your creative potential to make something that can be retailed for money. You could be doing all kinds of other things that could help you secure yourself while you're still looking for a job. Future interval is a 3 of discs reversed. Okay, so this card is saying that what's about to open up for you is the realization of what is necessary for you to secure yourself financially. 3 is about becoming aware, enlightenment, a sudden knowing, a sudden realization. And discs is about finances, physical world, physical security. So this card is saying that what's about to open up for you is a little bit of overwhelm and hopelessness, realizing that what's actually required of you in order to secure yourself financially is very big, a lot bigger than you had anticipated, and almost feeling like you're not good enough to do that. You're not worthy, or don't have enough knowledge, or don't have enough experience, or don't have enough resources to invest in a business venture. But this card, the other side of it, is here to say to you, don't let those thoughts, don't let them overwhelm you. Don't let them take away your hope, because anything you can visualize, you can manifest. Anything you desire and you can see it in your mind, you can make it happen. Identifying the end goal and then actually taking steps towards that goal, choosing a direction to get there. So what this spread is saying about how can you secure yourself financially: first of all, continue what you have been doing, applying for jobs. Make some changes to the way that you apply. Make some changes, like instead of looking for a specific position, look for anything, really, anything that will secure your expenses. And then at the same time, while you're doing that, trust in the universe to support your own business venture. Start doing something that can help bring in an income. Maybe you open a creche, I don't know. Maybe you start buying makeup products and selling it. Who knows? There are so many things that you could be doing, and this is saying to you, do that in the meantime while you're still applying for work. Find other ways to generate an income. And then the last thing that the spread is saying to you is money is a symbol of energy. So energy flows. It has to constantly flow. You can't have blockages. You can't have places where energy gets hoarded. It has to constantly flow. So if you're receiving money and you hoard it, afraid to spend it, money's going to stop coming to you. It's like if you receive energy and you hang on to it and you don't share it and you don't let it flow, you will stop receiving energy. You'll start to feel drained. You'll run out of energy. What you're hoarding is all that you'll have. You'll stop getting more. It's the same with money. If you're hoarding money and you're not prepared to invest it or spend it, you'll stop receiving money. It's a living creature. Money, that is. Kylie, so I'm sure it says in the description here, ask a question to join the queue. Please go ahead and do that. Ask a question, and then you'll be in the queue. And Tweety, thank you for your question. You are in the queue as a result. And Mary Kearney, welcome. I'm sorry that you're feeling alone. Please ask a question to join the queue. I'm glad that you joined us. I know I'm not in the physical space, but I guess our company here, make you feel a little bit less alone, hopefully. And Kavita Naidu says, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. God bless you, and God bless you too. Wishing you wealth and prosperity beyond measure and beyond your wildest dreams. Amen. Alpha, welcome to the chat. Will I see Sagittarius Daniel in March? I'm Aquarius. Cool, so your question automatically adds to the queue. And then Kylie, I just want to say once again, if you want to get into that queue, you need to ask that question. So please go ahead and do that. And please don't spam the chat asking me permission to ask a question. You don't need my permission, just ask. So I believe Tweety is next in the queue for a reading. Question is communications with other people. I have trouble with my current style. Okay. Thank you for your question, Kylie. Your question adds you to the queue automatically. How can Tweety improve and work on his communication tactics? Okay, Tweety, your past interval here is the Queen of Discs reversed. So this card talks a little bit about greed when it's reversed. It's telling me that 2021, like mid to end of 2021, you found yourself in a little bubble of security. You had a little oasis where all of your needs were met. You had enough clothes to wear, you had enough food to eat, and you had a roof over your head. And there was a sense of greed, a want for more. Not recognizing how much you actually had and not being grateful for it, looking over the horizon instead of looking at what you had in the present. And so then chasing after something that, an illusion basically, chasing a mirage of something better than what you currently had, you started to lose what you had. That little bubble of security started to collapse for you because of the greed, because you were chasing after a mirage rather than looking at what you had. But that's coming to a close. The fact of losing out, the fact of starting to lose your security brought you back to your senses and made you look at the present and realize that you actually had what you needed in the present, and you didn't need to be chasing, you didn't need to be running so far after something else, that there were opportunities closer to home. Alicia, welcome. So I'm giving away free readings for 2 hours. So if you want that free reading, just ask your question to join the queue. There is a queue, and those gratuity suggestions there. The $3 is after the queue closes. It's to make sure that you still get a reading even if the queue closes. And the $5 tip, that is to skip the queue if you want to. So Tweety, in your present we have the Hermit reversed. So this card says that in the present you're spending too much time on self-reflection. It's kind of like orbiting the abyss. When you go into a place of stasis, you isolate yourself mentally and emotionally and spiritually from the people in your environment. Spending all of your time reflecting on your past and observing possible futures. And when you're in that place, it's like you're orbiting the abyss. You've left the physical reality and now you're orbiting a black hole. And the longer you spend in that space where you're isolated, the reality you came from, the reality your physical body lives in, starts to collapse. You start to lose out on opportunities. Relationships start to fall away. The means through which you secure yourself financially starts to fall away. Your health starts to collapse. The longer you sit in this place, the more your reality collapses. Now, it is healthy to regularly go into this place of hermiting, into this place of self-reflection and stasis. It is healthy to go there and observe your past, observing where you've made mistakes, where you've hurt people, also where you've done things that were great, where you supported people, where you had success. And the point of this is so that you don't repeat mistakes going forward, and so that you can reapply your methods of success. This Hermit card, number 9, it appears this period where one is compelled to go into reflection is right before completion. It's the last stage before you manifest yourself into the new cycle. So have a look at where you were when you started, where you were last year this time. Observe your process, see your failures and your successes, acknowledge them, take responsibility for them, because a Hermit card reverse also implies that you are finding ways to justify negative action and finding ways to downplay positive action, and that is not good for the new cycle. If you don't take responsibility for your mistakes, then you will inevitably repeat them, and if you downplay your success, you will not be able to reapply those methods that brought you into success. To say, oh, that success was a fluke, it was a coincidence, then yeah, you won't reapply that method, and then you won't see the same results. So first of all, get done with your self-reflection. Get done with it and return to your place in the world. And then also make sure that you're taking responsibility for both your failures and your successes before you come back. Make sure that you've really observed yourself and you've taken responsibility for yourself in your positive and negative aspects. Future interval is the Two of Swords reversed. So this card says that what's about to open up for you, you're about to find yourself with a lot of potential for intuitive growth, for spiritual growth, for abundance in your purpose and whatever goals you have in mind. There is the potential for all of those things to manifest for you, and a lot of self-development as well. But you will need to focus and commit to that potential. So this card is reversed. It's a warning saying that in the past, Hermit card, you can observe it now because you're in the Hermit. In the past, you have grabbed opportunities for development, opportunities for wealth and abundance, and then you have failed to commit to it. So this kind of potential that we're seeing opening up for you, it's like a seed, and when you get a seed, you know it has the potential to be whatever it is. So if it's an apple seed, you know it has the potential to be an apple tree, and then you plant that seed and you give it its life. But if you don't commit to it and you don't water it regularly and you don't nourish it and shield it from weather, it will shrivel up and die. So it's the same kind of thing. If you are presented with potential for growth and abundance and you grab it, you need to commit to it and you need to nourish it regularly, or otherwise it slips away regardless of the fact that you grabbed a hold of it. So that is just a warning saying to you that there is opportunity coming and you can grab it and you can commit to it and you can see it manifest. You can see all of that self-development take place. You can see all of that wealth in the spirit reality take place, and once something changes in the spiritual realm, the physical realm catches up. It takes some time, but it does catch up. So if you become abundant and wealthy in your spiritual being, your physical reality will start to reflect that wealth. And that potential that's opening up for you will require commitment. So don't repeat past cycles. Don't find ways to blame other people or circumstances for your inability to stay committed to potential that was presented in the past. Hermit reversed. And yeah, if you commit, that is like commitment and discipline is the key to your future. Sila, pausing to contemplate the magnitude of what was revealed. Welcome Alok Gupta. It's good to have you here. Nice to see you. Always good to have new names, new faces. Alicia says my question disappeared. In that case, please repeat it because I don't see it in my chat. So, yeah, Alicia, please repeat your question for me. And so, yeah, I just want to say to Alok Gupta, and if you want to join that queue, you can join it by typing #tarot along with your question, and that'll put you in the queue. Tweety says, I never did realize my opportunities before this year, and it's only when I hear such things that I feel grounded in this reality, otherwise lost. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad that I can be here to give you some sense of grounding and some sense of anchoring point that brings you back to center. Alicia says, will Christopher come back? #tarot. Thank you so much for your question, Alicia. That does add you to the queue. So next in my queue is Alpha on YouTube. Alpha says, will I see Daniel in March? I'm Aquarius. So Alpha, let me know if you're still here because you're up next for your reading. And then, so I can give you a yes or no answer from the pendulum. A little bit of dowsing. What is it? What is the other word for that? Yeah, it's dowsing. Pendulum dowsing. So the pendulum will give you yes or no, and that is so will you see Daniel in March? Pendulum will say yes or no. Tarot will probably not give you yes or no answer. The tarot will give you other advice, on general advice on your relationship. So let me know. Thank you for your confirmation. Just let me know if you want that yes or no answer, or if you want general advice and guidance from the tarot regarding your relationship with Daniel. Alok says, my name is Shagan. Feelings for Saksham for me and future. Thank you. He is my crush. Amazing. Alok, your question added to the queue automatically. So once again, Alpha, do you want that that pendulum dowsing yes or no answer to your question, or do you want general advice? I just combined the word advice and guidance. Guidance or advice, generalized relationship guidance and advice, or a yes or no answer from the pendulum. So we're going to go with advice then. Cool. How will Alpha's reunion look like? What does it look like? How will it go when she sees Daniel in March? Okay, so your past interval here is number 14 of the trumps. It's called Art. I like this card. This card basically tells me that until this moment in time, last year, since the relationship started, you guys have worked well together in every aspect. When you create, when you make art, you guys work well together in that co-creative process. When it comes to setting home space, creating a home space, when you are together, your co-creative process works great together. You guys mesh and fit together well. When you talk about creating your dream for the future, your visions, they are compatible, and the means through which you guys can manifest those dreams also compatible. You guys complement one another's creative process. Whatever he's working on, your advice and your process and what you have to offer complements him well, and vice versa. His creative process complements yours. It's a really cool reading to see, really cool card to see in the position of your past. Present interval is the Four of Cups reversed. So this card is telling me that in the present moment where you are right now, you're having a little bit of difficulty exercising authority over your emotional self. So that looks like reacting. It looks like reacting to difficult feelings that you have, and making other people responsible for your triggers. When people say things or do things or don't do things, and it brings up a negative reaction in your emotional being, then you start to make them responsible for it instead of taking responsibility for it. So taking responsibility for it is highly important. Other people are not responsible for your triggers. Triggers are all rooted in your own past experiences in past relationships, experiences growing up, childhood traumas. So all of the responses that you feel in your emotional being are rooted in your own past experience and have nothing to do with Daniel, and have nothing to do with the other people in your environment. So it's really unfair to try and make anyone else responsible for your emotional experience. It's really unfair to try and say you're to blame for making me feel this way. No, you alone are responsible for that. You alone are responsible for integrating your traumas and taking authority over your emotional being. So what that looks like, taking responsibility for your emotional being and applying your authority therein, it looks like choosing to act in a creative, constructive, and supportive way regardless of what you're feeling. So when you do something spiteful or say something nasty or passive aggressive as a result of difficult emotions in you, that sabotages relationships, that sabotages your dreams, it sabotages your future. But if you are able to channel all of that energy into doing something constructive, saying something positive, you bring yourself closer to your dreams, you build relationships, and you also transmute that emotion. You help yourself apply salve, basically. It's like throwing salt in a wound. You purge the infection. So the infections are things like fear and shame and guilt and frustration, self-believed lies. All of that kind of stuff is the infection that sets into an energetic wound. So when you do something constructive, you feel those infectious emotions rising up, and you choose to do something constructive, it's like applying a salve to purge that infection from that wound. To react negatively is like feeding the infection and giving it more authority over you. Future interval is the Ace of Wands. So this is what you're going to experience when you guys have your reunion, when you see him again. It's basically going to look like clear communications about what you guys desire from your lives individually, what he desires, what you desire, what you're passionate about, what he's passionate about, what you guys want from the relationship collectively, what you're looking for in a relationship, what he's looking for in a relationship, what your intentions are going forward from that moment, what his intentions are going forward as individuals and as an item. And that's really healthy. That kind of interaction and communication is really healthy. It allows him to see what he can do to support you in your life and your dreams for your life, and it allows you to see what you can do to support him in what he's passionate about and what he desires from life. And it allows you both to realize what actually needs to happen, what the relationship is going to look like for you guys going forward. Because you've communicated clearly about your desires and your intentions, it paints a very clear picture of what it's going to look like if you guys were in each other's space, and if you were living together, and if you got married and had children, etc. So that's what you can expect. Clear communications about passions for his life, for your life, for your relationship, your desires for relationship, intentions for yourselves individually and collectively. And that's really healthy for a relationship to have that kind of communication. And that is the conclusion of your reading. So thank you very much for joining me today. I love having new faces and new names in the thread. Please like and subscribe, would be much appreciated. And also, if you got any friends who might be in need of a reading and the value that I give here, please recommend them. Please send them this link. Please share. Much appreciation and thanks. Welcome, Rika Sina. Your question automatically adds to the queue, so thank you for that. You're welcome, Alpha. Welcome. Next is Kylie. So Kylie, confirm that you're still here, please. Will Gaurav return back to me and call me? If not as a lover, at least as a friend. I miss him heavenly. Please confirm that you are still here, Kylie. You're up next for a reading. And then I wanted to ask you, is Gaurav a name? Or is it like a title? Because so many people ask me about Gaurav, so I'm wondering, it leaves me wondering, is it like, what does it mean? Is it actually a name? Or is it something that's applied to a culture of people? Calling Kylie on Facebook. Last call for Kylie on Facebook. Kylie's gone. Welcome Amy2606. To join the queue, you ask a question followed by #tarot. That'll get you into the queue automatically. Thank you for joining me today. I love having new names in the stream. Welcome back, Shital. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So next in the queue is Alicia, asking, will Christopher come back? So Alicia, let me know if you're still here, because you're up next. Calling Alicia on YouTube. Amazing, thank you for your confirmation, Alicia. And then Shital, you know how it works, you just go ahead and ask a question to get into that queue. Amy says, will me and F be together soon? Thank you for your question, Amy. You're in the queue. Kylie, I moved on from your reading, but I'll put you back in after Alicia. Please stick around. Oh, it's a wild card for you. It's a 10 of Cups. Full evolution of the emotional experience. So that's positive and negative emotional expression. Basically, this card is saying to you that Christopher is experiencing a full well-up and full evolution of his emotions. That's positive and negative, and he's expressing it in a healthy way. That could look like crying, like weeping, crying for your loss, as well as feelings of joy and resolution and peace as a result of allowing those difficult emotions to be expressed. Letting them be felt, expressing them, and then doing something creative as a means to transmute it. It's also something that you've been going through. Feelings, difficult feelings because of the end of that relationship, the separation, allowing them to be felt, expressing them in tears if necessary, and writing it down or drawing or doing something creative with that feeling. Finding peace and joy in the resolution of it. Will Christopher return to Alicia? So, your past interval is a 9 of Cups. This is saying that since the relationship ended, since the separation, you have both individually been doing a lot of reflection on your emotional experience in the relationship. So what kind of things did he say or do that what did it cause you to feel? Reflecting on all the times that he said things and did things that made you feel loved and cherished, and vice versa when you did things and said things that expressed your love and appreciation. And then also reflecting on the times that he said and did things that triggered you and brought up difficult feelings, or where you reacted to those feelings, where you took creative or supportive action regardless of those feelings, and vice versa. Looking at how you said and did things that triggered a difficult response for him and how he responded to those feelings. And it's a healthy card. That kind of reflection allows you to take responsibility for your mistakes and to take responsibility for your success, so that in the resolution, when you go into a new relationship or when the relationship reconciles, you don't repeat those mistakes and you can reapply your methods for success. You can reapply your support and constructive criticism and your love languages. You know how you express your love language better, and you know how he receives that. Present interval is a 2 of Cups. It's reversed. So in the present moment there is opportunity and potential for you to manifest emotional fulfillment for yourself, and that looks like committing to self-love and self-love practices. That looks like self-care routine, self-appreciation, self-recognition, taking Giving yourself validation and not looking for it from an outside source, not relying on a partner or a relationship in order to feel secure and validated. So that's actually very important, but this card is reversed, telling me that you're neglecting yourself. You're neglecting your self-care routines. You're allowing depression to leave you stagnating, where you're not looking after yourself, not eating properly, not taking care of yourself the way you should be, not giving yourself validation, looking for validation and support from outside sources, relying on family members and friends, and Christopher, not Daniel, excuse me, relying on Christopher to give you emotional fulfillment, to bring you out of your depression, but actually you're responsible for that, and you're responsible committing to your own efforts to bring yourself out of depression. So this card is saying to me that there is potential for emotional abundance and emotional fulfillment, but you're neglecting it and you're staying in that place of depression. You're choosing to be there rather than choosing to commit to yourself. So this card is saying to me that if you can commit to yourself and your own self-love, and you can be secure and validated by yourself and your own spirit, that will bring you closer to reconciliation with Christopher. That'll make it more of a likelihood that you'll reconcile. And if not, developing yourself and fulfilling your own cup will bring you into connection with people who are doing the same. And out of those people, you will find the right person who is authentic and compatible with you. Future interval is Princess of Discs. This is what's opening up for you. This is the future interval. And the Princess of Discs talks about co-creation. So that looks like physical pleasure, it looks like sex. It also looks like working together with someone in order to secure yourself financially. It looks like having exercise buddies. It looks like a relationship, a really cool relationship where you're working together in every aspect of your being, and you're living in the same kind of space, budgeting together, spending together, working whatever kind of financial projects you have, working together. Maybe that looks like colleagues, working with a colleague, and it talks about sexual gratification, a lot of fun there. It's a really cool card, and I'm inclined to say yes, it's saying that Christopher will come back and that you'll have this within that relationship, but it might also be talking about someone else. I might be saying that relationship it's about to open up for you is with someone other than Christopher. But anyway, it's talking about a lot of fulfillment and co-creation. It's talking about a relationship where you work together to secure yourself financially, where you work together and you have a fulfilling sexual experience. It's talking about working on your health and your fitness together with someone. It's all about working to secure your physical reality with other people, with someone else. And that is the conclusion of your reading. So thank you for joining me today. Yeah, it's great to have new faces. And I hope that you will like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you know anyone else who might benefit from the value I'm offering here, please recommend me. I do offer private services and private readings, just to let you know. Amazing. Thank you for your confirmation, Kylie. I'm going to do Kylie's reading, and then Alok Gupta is right after Kylie. So, Shital Gopani, your question added you to the queue. I see you saying there, I'm badly financially stuck. Moreover, my property is in conflict, issues with relative, don't know what to do to come out. Can you see any time period when we will have all of this sold and settled? Welcome back, Suhana. And then there's a Lavina who says, will Ankit D and me end up marrying, irrespective of family approval? I'm from India, so family blessing is like a mandate. Can you please confirm if I'm in the list? Lavina, your question added to the queue automatically, so you are in fact in the list. There are a few readings before you, but yeah, I can't exactly say how many. Suhana, you know how this works. You just go ahead and ask your question to join the queue. The sooner your question's in, the sooner you're in the queue. Gaurav is the name of the guy. Thank you. That's very useful information. Will Gaurav and Kylie reunite, even if not as lovers? Welcome to the stream, Nancy Pope. To join the queue, you just go ahead and ask your question. So Kylie, your past interval is a Knight of Discs. This card tells me that the reason your relationship collapsed in the first place was due to rebirth in your physical environment. That looks like a move, having to move from one place to another, from one home to another home, or it looks like getting fired from a job. So I don't know if that was you who got fired, or you who moved, or him that moved, or him that got fired, but that is what put the stress on the relationship. That's what caused that rebirth to take place. That's what brought about the end of your relationship, that rebirth. But these kind of rebirth cards, these Knight cards and the Death card, the kind of progress and the kind of changes and shifts that come into place in the resolution always bring you further into alignment with who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing, the life you're supposed to be living. So if it destroyed the relationship, it implies that the relationship was inauthentic and it wasn't meant for you. Present interval is number 8 of the trumps. It is called adjustment. It is reversed. So this card is saying that in the present moment you are both identifying who you need to become in order to see your dreams realized. So you, Kylie, you have this vision of what your life looks like and what you hope from life and what you want from life, what kind of house you live in, how much you're earning, what kind of man you're married to. You have this vision, and so does he. And so you're identifying who lives that life. That person that has that life, what is their character like? How do they carry themselves? Who are they? What does their lifestyle look like? And you're identifying that because you know and realize that you're going to have to shift and become that person before you can have that life, before you can have that future. And so these shifts, these changes that you're having to make in the present are difficult shifts. The kinds of things you have to let go of, the kinds of habits you have to break, and the new habits you have to form are difficult ones. There's strong attachment to the old lifestyle. So it's painful to let go of. However, the card just wants to encourage you to go forward and to make those shifts and not worry too much if you can't break the habits all at once, or if you can't form the habits all at once. When you have identified who you need to become and you make the conscious decision that you're going to make that change and you're going to become that person, that is good enough. From there you take small steps, and it doesn't matter if you fail the first time, you just persevere. You keep breaking the old cycles, you keep breaking the bad habits, you keep trying to form the new habits, and it's not the end of the world if you don't succeed at first. Future interval is the 8 of discs, so once again we have an adjustment card, a shifting card, but this one is to do exclusively with finances and health. So, and also physical relationships, physically intimate relationships. So this card is saying to me, no, you will reconcile with Gaurav, but it's not going to be as lovers. you're going to be working together with him, and sharing advice and giving advice, but it's going to be friendly, platonic relationship, not romantic, not sexual. More than that, what's opening up for you is some changes to the way that you handle your finances, what you spend your money on, what you consider to be essential products, what you consider to be non-essential products. Some changes to the way you perceive those things is going to happen, and that's all about bringing balance between how much you receive in your physical reality and how much you expend. So the balance is between income and expense. You can't have a greater expense than income, and so you need what's opening up for you is shifts on what you spend your money on and what kind of essentials you purchase, and these shifts are necessary in order to create that balance so that you don't drive yourself into debt. But you will be working with people that you know and trust, like Gaurav. You will be interacting with them, getting advice from them, how to increase your income, how to decrease your expense, so that there can be a balance between them, so that you can stop going into debt and you can actually start saving. And that is the conclusion of your reading. So guys, all of you who are asking if you are on the list, yes, if you have asked your question, you are on the list, and I can only encourage that you have patience, or otherwise send a priority tip. Priority tip is right here in the gratuity suggestion. That'll skip you in the queue. Otherwise, just know that if you asked a question, you are in fact in the queue. Next in line is Alok Gupta, saying, my name is Shagun, feelings of Saksham for me and our future, thank you. So Alok Gupta or Shagun, please let me know if you're still here, because you're up next for a reading. Kylie, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me today, and please like and follow me, and please share this video feed, would be much appreciated. Amazing, Alok has confirmed, saying she is in fact still here. Thank you for confirming. How does Saksham currently feel towards Shagun? Welcome T Genie. To join that queue, you just go ahead and ask a question to get into the queue. I do give general readings, just let me know if that's what you'd prefer. Sooner you ask your question, sooner you're in the queue, T Genie. Okay, so Alok, your past interval here is the 9 of discs. So basically this is saying to me, T Genie, that is okay, thank you very much. Alok or Shagun, basically this card is saying to me that Saksham has seen you lack responsibility, depending on others for your financial security. When you neglect your self-care, your health and your hygiene and your diet and your exercise routine, whatever, he sees those things and he sees there's a lack of responsibility within your physical reality. that you are very much dependent on others to take care of you, that you don't necessarily have any kind of desire to take responsibility for yourself. And that has been detrimental to the hope of being together with him in the future. He has looked at that and been like, oh, I don't know if I want to be in a relationship with someone who can't be responsible for themselves. Tijini, no, this is for Alok Gupta on YouTube. There is quite a queue, so yeah, please have patience. We will probably get to you. The queue is getting full at this point. When that timer reaches 0, our free readings are done. And then Jano, you were not before Alok. Shagun, your present interval is the 10 of Swords. So presently, he's seeing that your purposes have come to a close. And a note on purpose is once you have identified what your heart desires and then you reach out to accomplish it, then you are existing within purpose. So you had a desire in your heart and you set things in motion in order to accomplish that goal, that desire. And he's seen that that has come full circle and has come to a close. What you had been working on, it's finished. Whatever that goal was, it's accomplished. And that's not a bad thing. The ability to set a goal for yourself and then accomplish it and stay committed to it until it comes to completion, that is a healthy character trait, and that is something that works in your favor. When he perceives that in you, it's something that works to your favor. So there's a little bit of advice that this card is giving. It's saying to you that when you complete a goal, when a purpose that you've chosen for yourself comes to completion, it's important to set a new one, identify a new desire, and start taking action towards that new desire. It's like a good example of it would be harvest. So you plant seeds, plant a crop, the crop grows, harvest is ready to be received, you harvest it, and then you have to plant again, otherwise you won't see harvest next season. So that's a bit of advice that the card has for you. Future interval is the 2 of Discs. So this is saying that there's going to be opportunities for you for physical growth and physical abundance. That's financial abundance, that's physical health, abundance within your health. There will be opportunities and potential that's presented to you, and you have the opportunity, or you have the chance, to reach out and grab a hold of that opportunity. And that also looks like a physically intimate relationship, the opportunity for physically intimate relationship with your crush, Saksham, and you have to reach out and grab it, and then you have to stay committed to it. Basically, that is your chance. If you can commit to this potential that's about to open up for you, this opportunity, if you can grab it and commit to it, you can prove to him that you are a good match for him and that he's a good match for you. Staying true to that and committing to it and not allowing that opportunity to pass you, that's your key. That's the key to get into that future that you want, that future of your desire of being with Saksham. If you allow that opportunity to pass by you and you allow that seed of potential to die, then it's going to be bad for your image, and he's not going to want to be in a relationship with someone who can't commit. Someone who reaches for potential and then fails to commit to it, allowing the opportunity to slip by them, yeah, it's going to be the make or break. And that concludes your reading. So thank you for joining me, and please like and subscribe. And if you know anyone who could benefit from a reading here or from the value that I offer, please recommend me. And then I just want to go ahead and say to everyone who is watching the stream right now that if you are in the queue and you have things to do and you want to skip and you want to put yourself next in line and skip that queue, you can do so with a $5 tip. Next in the queue is Rika. Rika Sina on YouTube. calling Rika Sina on YouTube. Last call for Rika Sina on YouTube. Okay, next in the queue is Amy2606 on Twitch. Will me and F be together soon? So Amy, if you're here, please confirm. Amazing. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for sticking around. Rika Sina, a little bit late to confirm, but that's all good. I'll throw you back in the queue after Amy. I'm afraid that it is Amy's turn, Rika, but if you have a little bit of patience, you'll be after Amy. Will Amy be together with F, the one referred to as F? Welcome to the chat, Shilpa. Good to have you back. Okay, Amy, your past interval card is the Three of Wands reversed. So this talks about where you guys have come from since you've begun interacting, since your relationship started developing, and basically you had a desire of what you want the relationship to grow into. And this 3 talks about becoming aware of what's required of you in order to see that desire become a reality. And the card is reversed. It said that you felt a little bit hopeless, like what was necessary and what you'd have to do and say and become in order to see that relationship manifest the way you wanted it to manifest was more than what was, it was bigger than you, more than you could reach for. 3 is all about becoming aware, enlightenment, hope, and Wands is about intentions and desires. So yeah, the card reversed talks about hopelessness, feeling like what is required of you, knowing what will be required of you, feeling like it's more than you can give. Nancy Pope has sent a tip. Checking my notifications to confirm that. Yes, we have a priority tip from Nancy Pope. So Nancy Pope has been bumped to the top of the queue. As soon as Amy's reading is done, we'll be doing Nancy's. So in the present, Amy, we have an ace. Well, it's not really an ace, it's number 1 of the trumps. It's called the Mages and it's reversed. So in the present moment, you guys are being dishonest with each other. Now, maybe not direct dishonesty, but kind of like white lies, where certain aspects of yourselves are being withheld. Certain information is being kept to yourselves. Pieces of the past, of where you guys have been in past relationships, mistakes you've made in past relationships, who you've been in the past. There are certain things that you're failing to communicate that are important when building a new relationship. So basically, these 2 cards that I'm seeing so far is indicating that this relationship is not ideal for you. First of all, this past interval card is telling me that the relationship is requiring you to become someone that you are not. First of all, that's a red flag. In the present, you don't feel comfortable expressing yourself honestly and authentically, another red flag. And simultaneously, he does not feel like he can communicate and express himself authentically. So, to be honest, this is not, it doesn't look like an ideal relationship for you. However, you can turn this card around. You want to test him and make sure that this relationship is going to work for you or not. You can test him by turning that card around and choosing to express yourself authentically. Talk and communicate all of your past positive and negative aspects of your past, communicate it in your texts, in person. Start being authentic with your communications and see how he responds. If he starts being open and honest and clear about his past and about his intentions and communicating clearly, then A for away. If he continues to shut himself off and continues to be vague, continues to hide things, then you know it's red flag. Future interval is a 4 of cups. This is what's about to open up for you, Amy. And this talks about authority and routine. 4 is about authority and routine, and cups is about emotions. So basically what's opening up is you developing ways to cope with your emotional responses. When people say things or do things and it triggers a negative emotional response in you, you're going to be growing into your own authority over that. Learning ways to channel and transmute those negative feelings. Basically, it's talking about you learning to take responsibility and apply authority to your emotional being. So no longer having your emotions dictate to you what you're going to do. Instead, you getting to dictate what your emotions are going to power, because emotional energy is energy, it's power. Whether it's positive emotional experience or a negative emotional experience, it's power. And you can use that power to fuel your dreams and your own personal outcomes. So when we're looking at authority over the emotional being, it's learning how to do that. It's learning how to take difficult emotions and use them to power creative action and creative intention, using it to power your future. What you can visualize in your mind, you can work towards using your emotions to power it, whether they're positive emotions or negative emotions. If you allow negative emotions to dictate your actions and responses, it takes you away from your future. It takes you away from the future that you dream. However, if you can take negative emotions and you can channel it into some kind of creative, productive action, that brings you closer to your outcome and to your dreams and to your future that you're envisioning. So, as a result of turning this Mage's card around and communicating clearly, depending on his response, it's going to present that opportunity for you where you're going to have to apply authority over your emotional being, because your emotional being is saying to you, you want this relationship, you have a crush, you want this, you want to be together. But then if you communicate clearly and you see red flags, then you're going to have to make a choice about what's authentic to you, regardless of your emotional response. And yeah, that's the conclusion of your reading. So thank you very much for joining me today. Please follow, and yeah, hope I'll be seeing you again soon. Next up, we're doing a reading for Nancy Pope with a priority tip. Gonna have a look through my chat and see what Nancy's question was. What does my love life have in store for me? Thank you very much for the tip, Nancy. Much appreciated. Your support is invaluable. What does 2022 hold regarding Nancy's love life? Okay, so your past interval is a 9 of discs, and it's reversed. So this card is only showing itself up to, yeah, I'll give you a little suggestion so you don't repeat mistakes. 9 is about reflection, self-reflection, and discs is about your physical reality. So this is first of all saying that you, in the last year, in 2021, you went through certain financial crisis, or had bad sexual experiences, or both. Actually, it's talking about both. It's talking about difficulty with the physical reality, with your finances, with your health, with your sex life. And then at the end of 2021, you reflected on it all, and you didn't take responsibility for your own part within all of that difficulty. Difficult sexual experiences, you failed to acknowledge your own part in that experience. Financial crisis, you failed to recognize your own part in that or take responsibility for it. And at the same time, you had successes in all of these domains in the physical reality. And when you did this self-reflection, you downplayed your successes. You told yourself a narrative in your mind that led you to believe that your successes were coincidence or flukes or one-time things. So this card is showing itself to say, when you do these self-reflections, it's highly important to take responsibility for your part in your failures, and it's highly important not to downplay your successes, because you can reapply those methods. You can look at the events that surrounded your success, and you can reapply those methods that you used then in order to see the same results. So if you downplay those, you can't apply the method again for the same results. And if you don't take responsibility for your mistakes, you will repeat them. And that is the only reason that this card is coming up. It's just to say, as you move forward into the new cycle, if you've taken responsibility, when you do self-reflect, make sure to take responsibility for both your successes and your failures. Present interval is number 10 of the trumps. It's called Fortune. This is telling me that in the present moment, in February 2022, you are receiving returns on all of your investments. And that is not exclusively to do with finances. That's to do with relationships. Anywhere that you invested time and energy into a project or into people, you are now in the present receiving the returns on those investments. You're receiving the rewards, reaping the harvest. So this card has a little bit of a suggestion. It's saying that when we get into this place where we're reaping harvest or we're receiving returns, new opportunities start showing up, almost as a way to distract us from the harvest that is right in front of us. Opportunities that promise better results, and so we're almost inclined to neglect receiving what we are receiving. The universe wants to give you back all of the investments that you've made, wants to return all the energy that you've output tenfold, 20-fold, 777-fold. And there are also all of these distracting variables that take your attention away from receiving, make you feel like you need to be giving, even though in the moment you're supposed to be receiving. Another suggestion that that card has is to go ahead and continue investing into your life. Continue investing your time and your energy and your resources and your finances into people, into projects. Because if you have a harvest and you don't plant again, then next season you won't have a harvest. So it just wants to encourage you to sow again while you're still receiving, not allow things to distract you from your harvest, because this is a period of receiving returns for you. Future interval is the 3 of Cups. So this is hope for emotional fulfillment. It's what's opening up for you. It's what your 2022 looks like. So this card is saying to you that you can fulfill your own emotional cup, and then that is how you will manifest a partner that is authentic and compatible with you. The hope for that relationship that you want, it's there. There's abundant love, and relationship is abundantly available in 2022. And to get there, the key to unlock that future is to fill your own cup and allow your cup to overflow onto those around you. Working on self-development, working on self-care, just making sure that you're holding yourself and you're filling your own cup. When you do that, you will attract other people who are doing the same, who are filling their own cups. And as those people come into your spheres, certain people out of those that you attract will get closer and closer, and out of them one will stand out and get even closer, and a romantic and sexual relationship will develop naturally. You won't even have to look for it or try. So the card is basically saying to you to unlock your future, to unlock your love life within 2022. Focus on self-development and self-fulfillment, and then you will attract other people who are doing the same. And among those people is where you will find your connection, the connection that you're looking for. And that is the conclusion of your reading. And I want to say once again, much appreciation and thanks to you for your tip and your support. I would encourage you to like and share this video and to follow me if you haven't already. And then, yeah, I just want to say that everything you invest will return to you 770-fold and more. So mote it be. Wishing you abundance and wealth beyond measure within your finances and within your love life. Amen. Next in the queue is Rika. I'm glad that the advice resonates with you, Nancy. Okay, Rika is here. Your question was to do with finances in the coming week. Scrolling back up in the chat to find your question again. There we go. Yeah, finances for the week. So we got another 33 minutes on the clock. What can Rika expect in his or her finances and financial reality this week? And the week did start today, didn't it? My week starts on a Sunday anyway. Okay, so your past interval is a Knight of Discs. This tells me that the way that you earn your finances and the way that you receive an income has recently been through a rebirth. The end of 2021 looked like losing your job or losing your form of income and having to find a new way to secure yourself financially. This card is only showing itself just to affirm for you and say to you that when these kind of rebirths happen, it's always to bring you further into alignment with what you're supposed to be doing and what's authentic to you. So whatever was culled away by death, it was to bring you closer to what is actually authentic for you. Present interval is the 7 of Discs. Also to do with financial reality. So the 7 is saying that you have all of this unlimited potential in front of you when it comes to financial income. Right now in the present, you're looking at all of these possible ways that you could be earning, and so this card just wants to say, well, it's actually saying that you have chosen. You spent the last week contemplating where you're going to dedicate your efforts, which road you're going to take, and what outcome you're looking to manifest, that you're looking to realize yourself in. And so in the present moment, you are now putting one foot in front of the other. You're actually taking an action towards that outcome that you visualized. What is my income going to look like in the next week, in the next month? What am I doing to secure myself financially? You're visualizing that outcome, and now you're taking steps towards it. So again, that's an encouraging card. And there's a little bit of advice that card has for you. It's saying if you feel like there is a lot that needs to be done, you can cope with that sense of anxiety by realizing, first of all, that you don't have to figure it all out at once. Just focus on what's most important to your outcome. So you've chosen your outcome, how much you want to earn, and what you're going to do to get there. Look at what kind of actions you can take in the present, and then see which of those actions is the most important towards that outcome, and then work on those tasks in that order of priority. Yeah, moving on to future interval. Future interval is the Princess of Discs. So this card looks like working together with others. So the spread is not talking to me about what you're going to be earning in this next week. This card is talking to me more about what your future in general looks like regarding your finances. So you've chosen your direction, and the cards are saying that as long as you stay committed to what you've chosen, you will find the abundance you're looking for. And then that Princess of Cups is saying that something that can help you get there, that can help it manifest quicker for you, is to work together with others, is to allow other people into your process. Co-creative energies, basically. So looking to find ways that you can support other people in what they're doing to secure themselves financially, and then as a byproduct, getting support from them. You're supporting people in order to be supported. Your creative process helping other people arrive at their goals, and their creative process allowing you to arrive at your goals. So that looks like advice, that looks like crafts, looks like art, all of you working together in order to secure yourselves. And then one other thing this card is showing me is that these people and you yourself, you have a tendency to keep your emotions inside. You put on this hardened exterior. Even though you're gentle and passive on the inside, you put on this hard shell in order to go out into the business world. And that's necessary. We always have to protect ourselves and our energy, especially in the business world and the financial world. But this card is giving you a suggestion saying maybe a little bit more vulnerability, maybe a little bit more honesty about what you're feeling in your emotional being when people ask how you're doing, how you're feeling, what you're going through, and maybe a little bit more vulnerability and a little bit more honesty. And then it is saying not too much, communicating with people that you know are trustworthy, and not to just burden any random stranger with all of what you're feeling, but the people that you know and the people that you work with, to be honest with them and vulnerable with them about what you're going through in your emotional being. And that concludes your reading. So thank you very much for joining. Please like this video. I know you are already a subscriber, so thank you very much for that. And yeah, moving on. And then Shivansh, welcome. Sorry I missed you earlier. If you want to join that queue for a reading, you can go ahead and ask a question. Just want to let you know that my queue is very full and my timer is getting low. So when that timer reaches 0, I am finished giving away free readings. But you are welcome to join the queue regardless. Next in the queue is J No on YouTube. So J No, if you're still here, please let me know. Thank you for confirming, and thank you for your patience. This next reading I'm about to give is for Jno on YouTube. Jno says, I gave Elise a letter the other day expressing my love for her. Will this be the start of our relationship? Do you want a yes or no answer to that question from the pendulum? Or do you want general advice from the tarot? So Jno, I can give you a yes or no answer to that question with the pendulum, do some dowsing for you, or I can give you general advice Okay, so that's a sure. Go for the pendulum. On behalf of the one known as Jano, is this the beginning of a romantic relationship between him and Elise? Oof. Pendulum is swinging side to side, indicating no. It's giving me a slight clockwise rotation, and that says that more will be required. This is the beginning of a relationship, but not a romantic one. So it will still take time and effort, interaction, communication, before it will turn into romance. As it rotates and clockwise, it is swinging to a yes, swinging to a back and forward motion. So it's saying no, your letter did not result in romance. It is the beginning of a platonic relationship, but now she is aware of how you feel. More interaction and communication and vulnerability and honesty and regular meetups and dates will turn it into a romantic relationship. A Knight of Cups, as a general overview for you, it's a reversed card. So this card is just basically saying that this letter, you writing this letter, was you going through an emotional rebirth, and her receiving this this letter from you is creating an emotional rebirth for her. So the way that you used to interact with your feelings has died. This letter you wrote marked the death and rebirth of your emotional self. So in the past you would have all these feelings and you would suppress them, or you would run from them, or you would distract yourself from them, or basically you didn't act on how you were feeling. And so when you wrote that letter, it was a death of that old way of existing, and now you are stepping into your power, your emotional power, where you actually start to express and interact with what you're feeling in a healthy and constructive way. And writing the letter to her, it created a similar effect in her. It's causing her to re-examine her emotional being and how she's reacted with emotions in the past. The way she felt when she read that letter, she's looking at other things in the past that have made her feel that way, and recognizing how she acted in the past in ways that were detrimental, and choosing to make changes to the way that she interacts with those feelings from this moment onwards. Welcome, Sarabjit. Does the Gemini, have feelings for me? Thank you for your question. It adds you to the queue. Just be aware that my queue is almost closed. This timer, when it reaches 0, is the ending of my free readings. And we got a lot of people in the queue. So if you want to skip that queue, $5 tip will skip the queue. Also, I'm happy to stick around and continue giving readings until, as long as people are prepared to tip. Once the free reading queue is closed, I'm happy to stick around if you guys are happy to tip. Shivansh, please do not spam. Your question has already added you to the queue. As I've already said, there is a queue. If you're impatient and want to skip the queue, $5 tip. So next in my queue is Shital Gilpani on Facebook. So Shital, please let me know if you are still here. You are up next for a free reading. Shetal Gopani on Facebook. Please let me know if you're still around. Last call for Shetal Gopani. Moving on. Next in the queue is Lavina Asrani on Facebook, asking, will Ankit D and me end up marrying irrespective of his family blessing? I'm from India, so seeking a family approval is mandatory. So Lavina, please let me know if you're still here. You're up next for a free reading. Last call for Lavina Asrani. Next in the queue is Suhana. Suhana Sign on YouTube. So Suhana, if you are still here, please let me know. Your question was, will I marry Arjun? Suhana, calling Suhana, please let me know if you are here. Welcome, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, Miss Charita. It's nice to have you back. Thank you for joining us again. Last call for Suhana on YouTube. Encourage love and friendship. Welcome. Welcome. Encourage love and friendship on Twitch. I'm just gonna call you Courage because to join the queue you can type hashtag tarot and you can state your question, or you can just state general. I always love to see new names and new faces in the stream, so thank you very much for joining us. I'm doing pretty well, thanks. Cool, thank you for joining the queue. Please please confirm your question. I do general readings too. Charita says, looks like a long list. Yeah, the queue is pretty long, but most of the people in the queue have left. And the timer is getting low. So Courage, the way it works is this timer here, it will tell you how much time we have left on the clock for free readings. Once that timer reaches 0, we are done giving away free readings. The priority tip will skip the queue, and the security tip will, that's for when the free queue closes. It's to make sure you still get a reading even after the queue closes. And then Charita's asking me if I do private readings, and yes, I most certainly do. You can reach out to me on any of my platforms. You can send me a DM on Discord or Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook Messenger, and I will send you my list of offerings. Your question automatically adds you to the queue. Let's see. T Genie on Facebook, you will be up next. There is no certainty, Courage. There is no certainty because there is a big queue, but just about everyone has left. So it's possible, maybe, we'll find out. T Genie on Facebook, you are up next. So Courage, that's entirely up to you if you want to just leave. It has nothing to do with me. T Genie, let me know if you're still here. Last call for T Genie. Okay, next in the queue is Shilpa. Shilpa, you were here a few seconds ago. Please let me know if you are still here. Shilpa on YouTube, when is M going to contact me? Amazing, Shilpa is still here. I see you're adjusting the question a little bit. What is M currently feeling towards me? How is the one referred to as M currently feeling towards Shilpa? Past interval is the 5 of discs. So, Shilpa, M observed you through the last month, and he saw you applying your resources and your knowledge and your experiences in order to secure yourself financially, to increase your income, or just grow in your financial and physical reality. But you were reaching further than what you could accomplish with your resources and knowledge. You were overreaching, trying to accomplish goals that were bigger than what you could accomplish with what you know and what you have. And so you ended up going 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and it was disappointing for him to watch that. So the advice that card has, why it's coming up, it's saying to you, in the future, as long as you're putting one foot in front of the other, you are moving towards your goal. Don't try and leap too far, because that will lead to failure. Rather focus on taking smaller steps than bigger steps. There is less risk with smaller steps, but you're still getting towards your outcome. So apply your knowledge, yes. Apply your resources, yes. And don't try and reach for things that are outside of your reach, that are bigger than what your knowledge and experience and resources can get for you. Present interval is a Princess of Cups. So in the present moment, he is hiding himself. He desires to work together with you. He desires to be vulnerable with you and to reach out to you and contact you, but he is too proud. He is hiding inside a shell of hardness. He's pretending like he's a big tough guy, and he's not actually interested when he is. So Princess is about co-creation and working together with others and interacting with others in order to accomplish goals or see desires realized. And then Cups is about emotion. So he wants to grow together with you emotionally. He wants to be open and vulnerable with you regarding his emotions. He wants that kind of development to happen. He wants that kind of relationship, but he is very proud, and so he doesn't want to be the first one to reach out. He doesn't want to be the first one to send a message. So he's putting on this shell like a tortoise, hiding in his shell, making it out to seem like he's a hard stone, when actually he's very soft and vulnerable on the inside. Future interval is 5 of Swords, also reversed. So this one is again talking about overreaching. This one is what's about to open up for you. And Swords is about goals, the goals that you have set for yourself. And 5 is about applying your knowledge and your resources. And again, this card is talking about reaching too far. So this one here is warning you, saying in the last couple months you reached further than you could, and it was detrimental to you. So now as you go forward, don't do it again. Yes, apply your resources. Yes, apply your knowledge. Yes, to their maximum potential, but don't reach further than what they can carry you. You have goals. Now your goal is here. You are here. Don't try and jump from there to there. You will miss. Jump to something in between and then jump up there. And that's the advice it has for you. Yeah, basically that card is saying it'll make and break whether he wants to be with you, whether he's going to choose to be vulnerable with you. Yeah, if you jump too far again and you reach further than what you can and you fall again, it's going to be detrimental to your image and detrimental to the way he sees you, and it's going to make him say, hey, do I actually want to be in contact with someone like that? someone who constantly self-sabotages by reaching further than what their knowledge and experience can carry them. Be the example you want to be. Be the example you never had. Don't try and reach further than what you know. You know, we have a certain amount of education, we have a certain amount of resource to invest. Don't reach too far. That's what this whole spirit is saying, actually, is don't reach too far. Don't reach too far. You're welcome. Thank you for joining me, and that is the conclusion of your reading. So next in the queue, is Shivansh. Shivansh Bhatnagar on Facebook wants to know about career, general advice about career. We have 8 minutes on the clock, so I'm just going to go ahead and name names, and the first one to reply, oh wait, there we go, Shivansh, you will be getting the last free reading of the day. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for sticking around. What general advice and guidance does the universe and its spirits have for Shivansh regarding her career and her finances? Okay, so your past interval is 9 of discs. It's reversed. So this card is saying that you've had a look, like recently, in the last month, you've been trying to understand why you failed when it comes to your career and finances, why you've struggled. You've been trying to figure that out, reflecting, trying to recognize where you had successes, so that you can do that again, like saying, I've been struggling so much. Why is that the case? I've had success in the past. Why can't I have it again? Why am I struggling so much in the present? And basically, this card is saying that when you did that self-reflection, when you were looking back and asking yourself those questions, you downplayed your success. You failed to acknowledge where you did actually have success because it didn't look the way you defined success. And then more than that, when you've done things that were harmful to your career and harmful to your finances, you didn't take responsibility for it. You found ways to justify it. You told yourself stories in your mind that made it okay as to why that wasn't something that sabotaged. Rather, instead try to blame someone else or blame the environment, or say, yeah, it was because of that, or because of that, never actually taking responsibility for your part in your failures and not being able to recognize your successes either. And so this card is showing up to say to you that when you do these self-reflections, when you ask yourself these questions, it's very important to recognize your own part in your failures and recognize your own part in your successes, because if you don't recognize and take responsibility for your failures, then you will repeat your failures. If you don't recognize and take responsibilities for your successes, you will never be able to repeat your successes. And that is the advice that card has for you, saying, yeah, when you reflect, take responsibility so you can learn from your mistakes and from your success. Present interval is a Knight of Discs. So this card is saying to me that you are contemplating moving, and that is moving maybe from one place to another, moving your home, or moving from one workplace to another, moving career. And you are reaching this decision of your own accord because you feel like what you have been doing is not so authentic to you, not so authentic to your being. Like you're saying, hey, if I don't enjoy doing something, then why am I doing it? Why am I not doing something that I do enjoy in order to secure my finances? So this rebirth that you're going through in the present, or that you're contemplating, it will bring you closer into alignment. It will bring about a new cycle. Just remember that if you don't take responsibility for your failures and successes in the past, you won't be able to apply them or avoid them in the new cycle. So The rebirth, yes, it gives you the potential to move closer into alignment, to be doing something that you actually enjoy doing, but there's the same amount of risk of failure within that, and there's the same amount of opportunity for success within that, and it's up to you if you're going to learn from your mistakes from the past and reapply your methods for success from the past in the new cycle. That's the whole point of the self-reflection. This card, this Knight card, is basically saying, yes, you made the right decision with this decision to move, whether you're moving from one place to another or moving from one career to another. It's the right decision. It's going to bring you into an opportunity for more alignment and more authenticity, but that authenticity and the success therein is dependent on whether or not you're going to take responsibility. Future interval is number 7 of the trumps, and it is called the Chariot. So this is what's opening up for you. Many endless possibilities, many endless outcomes for manifestation, overwhelm, feeling like you have so many responsibilities and you're at risk of losing them, dropping them, like there's so much it needs to accomplish, you don't know where to begin. And this card wants to give you some advice on how to deal with that as it opens up for you. So first of all, when you have endless possibilities in front of you and you don't choose one, nothing manifests. So first of all, identify what it is you want. What do you want to accomplish in this new period? How much are you going to be earning? What kind of outcome are you looking to manifest by the end of 2022? Look a few months ahead and say, okay, what does my life look like at the end of this year? How much have I grown? How much am I earning? What have I invested in? Etc. Visualize it clearly. That's how you identify your outcome. And then have a look at ways that you can get there. Things that you can be doing in your present that bring you closer to that outcome. And then acknowledge, I don't have to figure it all out at once. Yes, there are a lot of responsibilities to fulfill if I want to see that outcome realized. And I feel a little bit overwhelmed by all of that. But I can acknowledge that I don't have to figure them all out at once. I need to identify what's most important to my outcome. So what is least important? What is most important? What things can I do in the present that are highly instrumental to seeing me realize that outcome at the end of the year? And what aspects of the things I can do in the present are less important? And then list your tasks, your schedule that you're going to set for yourself and what you're going to do day to day. List them in an order of what's most important to your outcome. And then act according to that list of priorities. And that is the conclusion of your reading. So thank you very much for joining me today. Much appreciation for your patience in waiting for your reading. And then I want to encourage you to like and share and to follow me if you haven't done so already. That will give you notifications on when I come live. And then I just want to let everybody know who's watching. I don't know how many are in the queue, how many people are still in the stream, because it seems like my viewer counter has frozen. But anyway, I want to let you guys know that tomorrow I'm going to be doing free spell casting. So if there's anything you want to manifest into your life, anything you desire, join me tomorrow for some free spells. And I do offer various kinds of spells as free offerings, but I mean not as free offerings, as private paid offerings. So the kind of spell casting I'm going to be doing tomorrow for free is basic executable servitors. So basically how that works is we identify your outcome, like we just spoke about in this reading. We identify the outcome, we identify the means to get there, and all of the various things that can help you with that. And so the more focus you give to your outcome, the more likely it becomes your reality. Now, it's not so easy to focus on all of these different things at once. So the point of an executable servitor is to gather all of that energetic residue and bring it down into a single point of focus, and then we put all of our energy and focus into that single point. And so basically that's what a servitor is. We give it an intention, we give it instructions on how it's going to bring us closer to our outcome, and then we charge it with all of our emotional energy. So I gather all of that emotional energy in advance, and then I capture it in a little fetish so that I don't have to summon that emotional energy for each individual spell. But I have received good reviews so far, because I only premiered the spellcasting last week Monday, so tomorrow Monday is going to be the second spellcasting stream, and I have already received some positive reviews where people have said, yeah, they're seeing the results of the spells coming into their lives already, so that's really encouraging. And then Shivansh says, do you also give remedies if we go for a private reading? I'm not so sure what you mean by a remedy, but I do give private readings, so if you want to find out more about that, you can send me a direct message on Messenger, and I will send you a list of all of my private offerings, and you can ask me more questions and I can answer them for you. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. I see that the queue is closed. And we don't have any security tips, so I'm going to go ahead and close the stream. Thank you to everybody who liked and shared and commented and who joined me for readings today, and a special thanks to the ones who tipped. The one who tipped, thank you very much. Much appreciation and much thanks to all of you. I'll see you tomorrow on Monday. Wishing you all wealth and prosperity beyond measure. Amen.